time when you try and analyze and tell people what these guys are going to do, well, the game can get disrupted so early that it just doesn't matter what you say. So, let's see if anything crazy happens. Super early on or not, in the top right-hand corner, our blue Protoss player, and Sidestorm Gaming, of course, these two are actually teammates. This is MaxPax. Down in the bottom left side, our yellow Terran player here is GuMiho. GuMiho is very fun in this matchup. I felt like he's been very creative in it, and while he doesn't quite go GuMiho mech really at all anymore, he just has a lot of fun, aggressive builds. He can also play a pretty darn terrifying macro game, dropping around the map, being very active all over the place. Just all that kind of stuff in general as the probe. Gonna come through. It's gonna be heading around. It's actually gonna drop another depot down. Just gonna be blocking this probe in, which then probe says, well, I guess I'll fight this SCV, and oh no. SCV dies. Well, that's obviously not really meant to happen, right? SCV is not meant to die there. The probe obviously dies as well, so in a way it's like, the probe's gonna die anyways, but now you kill it sooner, but probe already kind of knows what's going on. I guess you don't see the fact the factory is in the main base. I think MaxPax is kind of okay, because this probe was going to die anyways. The, build time was delayed a little bit, and yeah, you get that SCV, right? And getting the SCV is just an SCV that should have been mined right now, so a very minor little thing, but something that definitely, I think, like I say, is pretty, like I say, something you can be pretty fine and happy about as this Reaper starts to move out across to the upper right-hand side. Gonna move in towards the natural and perhaps into the main as our Reaper will try and deal some damage. Probe taking a few shots. And I'm just gonna shade around trying to get that Reaper. He's gonna hit it one time. That's gonna be about it for the moment though. Stargate coming through. There's a reactor starting on the side of GuMiho, and our Cyclone is about halfway done as well. It's going to see our Reaper pulling back from the right over to the top. As this Adept continues to go after the Reaper, and Reaper does continue to ping through all of those probes so far. Adept will get that Reaper kills. The Reaper will go down. Now this Reaper going to grenade and be annoying in the main base. So we actually do kill one Reaper, but Reaper number 2 is looking for some damage. Doesn't really get much done before being forced away. Not much of an option left at the end there, unfortunately, and this Reaper is going to try and kill a couple more probes to not really much avail at all. Step shades out again. Reaper takes another shot. Just going to be seeing the 2 barracks continuing to build in here from GuMiho as our Phoenix is producing on the side of MaxPax. Just going to have our Cyclone popping out, the Tech Lab going down, and GuMiho will come down to the low ground as this Phoenix of MaxPax wants to go. Again, down the bottom left, just try and get an eye on what's going on. Obviously, with 2 Phoenix, you can kill this Reaper off as well, so it's actually kind of crazy. This 2 Reapers dead. Didn't really find much at all. Gotta like this a fair amount from MaxPax here so far. Continue to build Phoenix, where we see... Ooh, did we lose it? Yeah, actually, that's a big deal, because I was going to say, we're going to see GuMiho 3 racks, factory producing tanks, no starport. I mean, yeah, that means no Viking or so, but I wonder if you can maybe get a bit of a marine tank push going when Stim is done. It really depends. I mean, there is a world where MaxPax just doesn't have the units he necessarily needs to deal with something like that, and then you can actually do very well very quickly. So that's absolutely a possibility here. We'll wait and see. Alessio SC2, thank you very much, by the way, for the 30-month resub. Welcome back, and thank you for your support. 2 Adepts join up with the Sentry. A couple of Phoenix just making their way down to that bottom left-hand side. Seeing where they can get to as the Marine production continues out. Just going to get a Cyclone locking onto a Phoenix there for a couple moments straight away. Now the rest of this Marine tank force is going to start pushing its way through the center, heading up to the top side of the map. Yeah, here straight away, and that is a Phoenix which is going to die, right? No! The Phoenix lives. No way. Alright, the Phoenix gets to survive then as we do push forward. Marines, the tanks, the Cyclone coming in. Just going to be seeing the... Well, a couple of units here from MaxPax wanting to get involved as well. Again, another Cyclone striking. Tanks get sieged. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Actually, I didn't realize we were going to have combat shields lined up with this as well. I'm hitting with Stim, but Stim and combat shields. These Marines are going to be beasts. I mean, this battery's going to be depowered. The gates are going to be depowered. And it feels like MaxPax is in a ton of trouble. Charge on the way, but nowhere near actually being done. Realistically, considering this army's already on top of you. And even if it is done, we've got, what, like 3 Zealots right now? Because the gateways have to be rebuilt, essentially. And they're just coming online. The Zealots die too quickly. I mean, that was still not charge being done. And MaxPax is DEAD here in this game number 1. Probes are going to pull it in. The Zealots are going to charge forward. This is going to be another tank getting lifted up. A couple tanks getting lifted up. And GG says MaxPax says GuMiho walks away with game number 1 on this deadly little push. Didn't do much with the Reapers. As we have got in the top left-hand corner of the map, a blue Protoss player who is now down by 1. This is MaxPax. Taking on the yellow Terran in the bottom right corner of the map, GuMiho. So, fast push from GuMiho gets the job done. I gotta say, it was just kind of the triple racks as well. I feel like MaxPax was just not on time with anything, really. And charge wasn't ready in time. Phoenix count seemed kind of lackluster to help against the tanks. Definitely was not ideal. Couple of nibbles. SCV gonna get some shots off on this probe as it comes into that base. Probe gonna turn around, go nibble that SCV back. Cybernetics core is gonna start on the side of MaxPax. We'll see where this game takes us. Obviously, this backward base for an in-base third essentially is really nice for, well, Terran and Protoss alike, but for Protoss you do play without a gas. Not the end of the world. It does make it just tough for the Terran to push you sometimes. The only thing I would say is for Protoss, obviously, if you end up kind of expanding there, the Terran can then maybe siege your main. And then play that kind of elevated play up here. So that is something you've got to be pretty careful about. Ripper is starting up on the side of GuMiho. Going to get the factory on the way up as well. And the SCV is just going to be popping out into this main mineral line in the next few moments as well. So GuMiho does expand after the factory, which means a little bit more tech heavy from him. Looking to try and maybe get some damage done early. We start with a Hellion beyond the second Reaper, so that's going to be 3 Reapers. He's really hoping to get quite a bit of damage done here then. He's really going big on these early units. Hoping to obviously get across, maybe get into a mineral line and smack down a few probes super early in this game as the 2 Reapers will kite against this Adept, and that's something which is very nice if you can do it successfully and you can keep this Adept busy. It will always go very well for you in that regard. So we actually do get the shade though, and that is GuMiho messing up. Letting one of the Reapers die is completely unnecessary. So MaxPax is able to kill one. Now GuMiho wants to try and kill this Adept, which he will be able to do. Units are kind of hurting though, and with 2 Reapers and a Hellion left, I'm not sure how much he'd be able to really do going straight across the map and trying to get active in that mineral line. Plane goes down. A couple of Reapers pop up into the main. Yeah, a couple of probes already. Just gonna see our same time adept across the map dealing some damage, so this Reaper should get one more worker. That should be the end of the Stalker here, and the adept gets an SCV itself, gets locked onto, but can shade away from that lock on. Nicklon began to move forward there, but decides to turn it back around. As our Stalkers gather up together, Blink is done. I'm actually going to head into 4 gateways in a moment from MaxPax, so he's going to have a lot of pressure he can apply up into these bases. See what he can do in the next few moments. Stalker's just going to warp in. There we go. Tank's obviously completely out of position for this. One in the natural, one on the top right corner of this main. This doesn't really help you at all. 3 SCVs going down immediately. Stalker's what we're going to do. Blink onto the siege tank, it seems. Not a bad call because there's no tank to follow that up. That's really, you know, pre-siege, so in position right now. That tank sieging now might just get blinked on, honestly. As the Stalker's just going to come around the side, take down a refinery, and GuMiho's defense currently failing him a little bit. This is the problem with like 3 Reapers and a Heli, and it just feels like it delays all your other techs so much that these Stalker attacks are going to be so deadly. I mean, this tank's going to get sieged here now, but what's in the natural? Nothing at all. So MaxPax with this little Stalker split, well, it's just a fantastic move, isn't it? Going to move into this natural. Going to start getting rid of some SCVs here. We're actually going to get rid of this tank, I believe. Was a little bit messy with the target firing. But we do get it, and GuMiho's just going to type out GG, and we are going to see a game 3 of this series as it gets tied up 1-1. MaxPax fighting back quickly. In the bottom left-hand corner, we do have our blue Protoss player from Storm Gaming. This is MaxPax. In the top right-hand side, we will see our yellow Terran player. This is GuMiho. Rax will go down to start us off here. A little bit of, not really proxy, just hitting on the map a little bit right out of position. Try and make MaxPax thinks it's proxy. Reaper can show up across the map slightly sooner, but that's not really something we're super aiming for in these situations. As you just have this Rax gonna finish up fairly soon. Reaper's on the way out, and it's going to be a Zealot from MaxPax. I mean, MaxPax scouts no barracks, so just in case it's a proxy, it's good to get a Zealot. Large maps, typically not one you'd want to build the Zealot on usually, because going across the map with a Zealot isn't super effective. And you just see the factory going down now as well, so the Zealot very much so is just the case of get it out, and get it to kind of hit the Reaper a little bit when it shows up. I mean, it can maybe, if it avoids the Reaper, it can obviously maybe pull the Reaper back as well, which is not a bad thing. So that is also a possibility here. As that Reaper hops up and moves on in. Pulls down. This is going to be GuMiho doing one of those GuMiho-esque builds as you see the concussive shells starting up and Marauders already producing. So I'm just going to try and move up this ramp. Just going to see the Hellion there to poke that Zealot away. SCV going to come in and repair a little bit. Stalker coming through. And Concussive Shell is going to be finishing in a moment. So this is going to get interesting because obviously MaxPax's units are just out over here. This is going to become a one-base attack from GuMiho, so he absolutely needs to get damage done with it. But it's very possible he can just clean out these couple of units already. And I mean, MaxPax actually going to have another Stalker here. So this Stalker is dead. Even an instant recall, I think, wouldn't have really been enough. He gets 2 shots off on a Marauder. Well, yeah, there's going to be a forced recall on these couple of units as well. And now GuMiho should just be moving across the map. Now he should be looking to get damage done. Medevac on the way to split these units up and trying to get them hit in different places at least. We'll see if that will be enough to truly find damage here in this current game number 3. Winner gets to play Spirit in the winner's match today. The loser plays Rogue in an elimination match. Let's see, 3 Marauders. Currently 2 Hellions. The Reaper hops up into the main to be the initial distraction. The Warlock is looking reasonable. Honestly, it doesn't feel like MaxPax has many units at all, no? I mean, extra gates finishing up in a moment or so. I mean, GuMiho's waiting for the extra Marauder and this Medevac, but that's just taking a little while. 2 Stalkers in the main, obviously looking to be a good defensive point as well. Marauders will come back around this side, and up they go. As you are going to go in, and that's the Stalker taking a pretty big beating already. Stalker is going to have a Super Battery going off. I mean, the Super Battery will be targeted down. There's a lot of damage time taken up here as the Hellions are trying to sort through the probes. If they can get rid of the probes, the Marauders can deal with the Stalkers, but it just doesn't feel like enough at all. MaxPax with a bunch of units here, clearing this up, pushing this away. And I think that is going to be enough for him to get. He even gets the Marauder kill there as well, and that wasn't saved by GuMiho. And GuMiho is on 1 base, guys. I mean, this was meant to deal damage, more so than 6 probes of damage as well. It needed to be game ending, and that is obviously just not what's happened here at all. And that means that MaxPax is looking very good here in this game number 3. Very good for a chance to play some more TvP against Spirit in the winner's match today, as he gets a really good defense here. Sets him off into a great position. Stalker's coming through, then SCV went down. We're going to go and push towards this ramp. I mean, Blink is done as well. I mean, that Medevac would be a great first target, right? If we can get rid of the Medevac, that's always just nice. Like I say, Blink is done, so these Stalkers can blink away to safety whenever needed, and even blink onto this high ground if they have some high ground vision. Oh, free Marauder. MaxPax doesn't see it. Marauder's actually coming in from this point, and actually Stim just gets finished in time, so that is a pretty decent victory considering. And as we do see the Hellion drop coming back through, maybe this is a way to get some damage done for GuMiho. Roasting up probes, 6 workers going down, make it 7. Okay, actually continued good damage from GuMiho, but still no expansion. He's still on 1 base. I mean, the fact he got Stim completed is huge because that does give him at least something of a chance. I'm way more hopeful for him now than I would have been otherwise, right? So yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. I mean, obviously, MaxPax just used his recall. He has got a Prism for counterattack potential. He's got an Obs that's just watching this army, and even if it's seen, there's nothing that shoots up, so you can't actually get rid of this Observer. So MaxPax knows exactly who he's playing against. Well, even sees the Hellbat morph. He's already building an Immortal charge. I mean, I feel as though MaxPax should be absolutely fine here. He's even going to see if SCVs do come with this, that they are going to be pulled, so with this amount of information, MaxPax can just do so much good preparation. Batteries are on the way up. He's going to try and meet this middle of the map and just get a couple shots off for free. And I don't even think he necessarily needs to utilize the Prism. He is going to send a few Zealots to the main. It's going to be very limited, but it does shut down reinforcements. Right? It does make sure that anything building is going to get caught up by the Zealots. Yeah, this is just a case of getting back, and a little supply block actually going to stop a second and more from getting out, but a ton of batteries on the way in the front door. Obviously, MaxPax's 3rd base location not going to be too successful. Looks like we're going to go and drop the Hellbats on top of this force as the SCVs are going to come up the ramp. The force field trying to slow this down. The Hellbats drop on top of the Sentry. Super Battery pops. The Sentries don't die, and GuMiho taps out very quickly realizing straight away pretty much that this is not going anywhere. And MaxPax does get the 2-1 victory and will get to play Spirit in that winners match.